class, what we discuss about IP addresses, right? So what is a IP address? What is a MAC address? Like that. IP address and MAC address differences. MAC address is a physical address, IP address is a logical address, like that. We discussed. And also we discussed about what is an IP address. In IP addresses, we discussed about a few points in IPv4 and IPv6 differences. And we discussed about mainly IPv4. Okay, IPv4 is a 32-bit, is divided into 4 parts and represented in decimal format. And IP addresses classes also we discussed. Okay, IPv4 classes also we discussed. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D we discussed. And then out of that one, Class A, Class B, Class C, what is their ranges and as well as network and host portions also discussed. Okay, and we discussed about a subnet mask. What is the subnet mask? We'll see a few more points related to the IP address. Okay, actually that is the one I want to start. Okay, but just I want to show you that something like ARP kind of stuff. So I went like that. Okay, it's not a big deal. So what is the complete IP address range? 0.0.0 to 255.255.255. It is divided into 5 classes. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, Class E. Class ABC is a unicast address. So we can assign an IP addresses from this 3 classes. And in that one again, we cannot use 0 series and 127 series. And 127.0.0.1 is reserved IP address for loopback or localhost address. Okay. And how to identify the which class of IP address. And we discussed about a network portion and host portions. So in a class A, the first portion is network portion, and class B, first 2 portions are network portions, and class C, first 3 portions are network portions. And based on that, so how system will understand what is your network portion, what is the host portion. Okay, how it can be understand based on the subnet mask. What is a subnet mask? System use the subnet mask to divide IP address into network and host portions. We can say like a system or a device, anything like a computer, laptop, or anything. Okay, system use subnet mask to divide IP address into network portion and host portions. What subnet mask is tells it a network ID of a IP address. Okay, to calculate this network ID and to divide a network into host portion, network portion, it use NAND gate operations. NAND gate operations. If you see there is a network, full network, it is the first one is a network ID. The dot 0 is this is a network ID, and the last one is broadcast ID. If you write a network completely like this, if you keep writing, this is the starting network ID, and this last one is broadcast. In between, all are valid hosts. These host IDs we can assign to the devices. Okay, so and also can communicate, cannot communicate. That is also we have written, right? So these devices can communicate or not. That is also we have discussed. So if you see this small simulation kind of stuff, simulation or not simulation. So every device is actually I configured 192.168.1.11, and it is a class C IP address. So what is the network portion? These first three are a network portion. And if you go to any PC, that's IP address is, if you see, this is the common and this is the host ID. If I add one more host, so I'm going to add one more host here. I'm connecting the host, and this does not have an IP address. I'm configuring an IP address 192.168.2.60. Same subnet mask, but I changed the network ID. So for a testing purpose. So this is a 1.11. This is 1.11. That is 1.16, right? So I'm trying to communicate from this PC ping 192.168.2.60. So I cannot able to communicate. So I'm not getting any ping replies. I'm getting request timed out because of this is a different network IP address. Okay. So if both are same classes, both are following same kind of series, but both are different networks. Why? Because of this. Okay. So what happened? So ours is, you can see my IP address, IP config. What is my IP address? 192.168.1.11. And this is 16. But there is a problem in the third octet. That is a different network. In case I'm pinging to 192.168.1.15, it's communicating because of both systems are in the same network. Of course, all systems are connected to same, but logically, these two systems are same network. This system and this system both are in the same network. This is not in the same network, means different network ID, different logical network. You guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next part is finding a network ID of an IP address. If you have an IP address, okay, if you have an IP address, and then so this is my IP address. Think about this is my IP address. And this is a class B IP address. So my subnet mask is like this. For example, I'm using this subnet mask. What system will do it? What is system is going to do to find a network ID of this IP address based on the subnet mask. So what if you want to calculate, we have to convert everything into binary so that we can do the AND operations. Okay. So 183 in the binary. So you can go to calc or directly you can able to calculate. So okay, 183. So this is the 183 equivalent. You can use it for a simplification purpose, or you can directly do it, no problem also, or you can calculate also. Okay. So 15 I can do it directly. If you have a doubt, then I can cancel and then go to decimal 15. So it is this one, but we have to write in a 8-bit manner. So we are doing that one. 33. 33 is 128, 64, 32. This is 33. You want to try? It is 33. Next one is 44. This is 44. You can take it from here or you can calculate. 44 means 128, 64, 32. 32 minus 44 minus 32 is a 12. Okay. So it's a 8, 4, 8, 4, 2, 1. Okay. So like the same thing. And this is 255. 255 means 8 ones. 255 means 8 ones. 0 means 8 zeros. So this is our subnet mask. Then we can start calculating. Okay. So can you see this one and this one? 1 and 1. Here in a table, you can see if both are ones, output is 1. If anything is 0, output is 0 only. 1, 0, 1, 1. I'm getting 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, this one and 1. Again 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I will get 1, 1, 1. Sorry, this is 0. Sorry, mistake. 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Again 0, 1, 0. Again 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Here 1, 1, 1, 1. This is the 1, this is the 1. Okay. So 1 will come. 0, 0, again 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Because all are zeros, whatsoever it is zeros only. Now again, you have to convert it back to this number. So again, either you calculate manually or you can calculate binary wise. So here it is. If you paste here. So what is the decimal number? 183. Again, we have some number here. So that is nothing but 15. Still you want. So there is a, okay, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 8, 1, 0. So 15. Remaining are zeros. Okay. This is my network ID. Same thing. I have another system. Some IP address 55, 66, something like that. 55 means this part will be changes, right? This part I will remove and this part also will remove. 55. $66. Okay. Now we have to calculate. So here it is. Same thing it will come. Anyway, this part is same. So same output it is there. So I'm not doing all these things, but this is different, right? So, but what is all are zeros. So whatever it is 0 or 1, the bottom is zeros only. Because the one side it is completely zeros. So the in AND operation, it is everything is 0 only. Of course, you got same. It means if you are calculate back, it is same thing. It means this system and this system both are in a same network. See that their network ID is same, so they will communicate each other. So two systems having same network ID, they will communicate each other. That's what I'm written here. So how to find a network ID? So take an IP address and take their subnet mask and convert into binary and do the AND operation between the bits from here to here. This one to this one like that. Do the AND operation. The final output is nothing but your network ID. Here also we have discuss. So with the same different IP address and but same network ID. So both are can able to communicate each other. So why? Because of their network ID is same. Here also have done like that. Guys, understand this part? How to find network ID and okay. No responses.
Sir, can you explain me why actually we are using subnet mask? I didn't understand.
Okay.
Why we are using this?
You know the IP address, but you want to divide as like a two systems are communicating each other. There is several advantages. Next one is also subnetting concept is there. Okay. But you want to communicate each other. You have to make sure that both are in the same network or not, same logical network or not. Logically same network or not. Okay. So here it is. What we have done here, we given a different network. It's a 2.16, but this is 1.11. This system is 1.11. When you are communicating to 2.16, we cannot able to communicate. Why? Because both are in different network. Of course, we understand, but how system will understand? Both are in same network or different network. How system will understand? It use the subnet mask and calculate their network IDs. Network ID matches, they will communicate. Network ID not matches, they won't communicate. Understand that?
Sir, we can also match. We can't match the IP addresses.
Of course, we can understand, right? So IP address is not matched, we can understand. But how system will understand?
Just like the system understand the network ID, it will understand the IP address.
Yes, it will check the network ID. If both the side network ID matches, they think it is both are in the same network. It will check source network ID, destination network ID. Network ID is correct, then it will communicate. Good. Okay. So here is I told about how to find a network ID from an IP address, but there is another advantages of this subnet mask. What is the other advantages? Of course, same advantages in different way. If you see, I use a default subnet mask. If I change my subnet mask, what will happen? If I change my subnet mask, what will happen? Here I use different subnet mask. See, this is a different subnet mask. This is different subnet. Then I calculate a network ID of it. Then I calculate both network IDs. See, this network ID is this one, 183.15.0.0. And here it is, it got different network ID. It is got different network. It is look like a same network, right? These are all same network only. But it is actually not same network. So these are all different networks. This is different network, this is different network, this is network different. How? Different network IDs. How it is become different network ID? Because I changed the subnet mask. Instead of using default, I changed it. Then automatically it is become different network. Okay. If both are different networks, they can't communicate each other because of their network ID is different.
So means sir, the subnet mask number is always remains the same 255.255.255.0.
Uh, of course, it is not always same. It is a by default, it is. But depends upon the network, depends upon the plan of the network sizes. People will change it, kind of stuff. Okay. So that part is comes under subnetting. What is this subnetting concept? Is it divide one network into multiple subnets. Then we have to go back to this. Where is this? Yeah, here it is. We have to go back to this part. Guys, private IP addresses, you can use anything, anywhere, like that, no problem at all, in generally. Okay. But in a public IP addresses, the limited size is there. For example, I have a 10 servers in my network. In my organization, I have a 10 servers. Then these 10 servers has to be communicate in the public directly. Okay. So need a public IP address. These public IP addresses I have to pay to use. I have 10 systems only. So can you suggest which class is better? 10 systems, 10 servers only there. So can I use this class C is enough, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm taking one class C IP address of a public network. So this is a class C. How many hosts I'm getting by default is 254 host. I will get 254 IP addresses I am getting from one single this network. So I'm paying for entire network and I'm getting 254 IP addresses from here to here. Okay. Of course, this is a broadcast ID. We don't use it. And this is our network ID. But these are the 254 systems I'm getting in this single network. But how many I'm using? 10 only. How many are wasted? These many are I'm not using. But still I'm paying for 254 addresses. Understand? I want to connect publicly, I will have to buy public network. I purchase one public network, I take in one class C. That is the least numbers because remaining are 65,000, 16 million. I don't want that one. So I'll take 254 IP addresses in one single class C. But I have only 10 servers. I need only 10 public IP only I'm using. What about remaining 244? I'm not using, but I have to pay for it. Okay. Understand? There is a number one. Okay. Okay. So I'm wasting 254. That is the reason number one. Second reason I'm telling, second another point I'm telling. That is The IPv4 addresses are limited. So it is around a 4.3 billion IP addresses. Out of that one, two classes we are not at all using, and we have three classes. And that is also fewer we are not using. There is a three networks we don't use it generally. 0 series, 127 series, 169 series also we are not at all using. Then what is the point here? It is okay. So still it is reducing. And outside there is a lot of people, lot of organizations are required to communicate in public. Even internet service providers are required public IP addresses. Companies like Savantis, HCL, Wipro, like these are different organizations are there. They need to, their servers, their systems has to be connected publicly. Nowadays, there is a lot of public connected applications are game, Zomato, Swiggy, IRCTC, okay, a lot of websites, public connectivities are game, right? But they are also needed, right? So we are using all, I have a Karorpati, then my organization use 1,000 IP addresses. Even I don't use it, but I'm paying. For me, no problem. But others also require an IP addresses, right? Maybe that is also required. So what I have to do, I will divide this entire network into several parts. What I need a 10 public IP addresses. Ask my service provider, my internet service provider, and from that one I will apply to this public communication like a dot Department of Telecom. So I have to apply. So I need a public communication. I have 10 servers. So based on that, give me a network. So what they will do it, they will divide this network and give me a network ID. So then I can configure. So we cannot get exactly 10, but we'll get a 10 plus, means around 16 minus 2. So obviously you're getting 14 host connectivity to this. You're wasting only 4 here. Maybe in future you can use that 1 or 2 extra. Okay, you're not wasting anything. So this concept, the dividing that entire network into sub networks, that concept we call it as a subnetting. The concept we call it as a subnetting. What is a subnetting? Divide one network into multiple subnets. When you divide it, so each subnet has a lesser number. So earlier we have 254. Now you may get a 14, or maybe you will get a 30, or maybe you will get a 62. Like that only, number of hosts will be less in the subnet. Host IDs. Okay, so it will be less. To do, how to do subnetting? By changing subnet mask. By changing
Sir,
subnet.
is the main advantage of doing this?
Yeah, that's the 2 points I told where it is. What is the first advantage? I no need to pay for a 254. I have to pay for a, I not to pay for entire 254, but I need only 10. So I'm paying only for a 14, not for a 254. I'm not wasting. So almost like a remaining, and also I'm wasting only 4 here by using subnetting. Okay. So
So I
money will be
didn't
saved.
need more IP addresses.
Yes, more networks you will get it. IP addresses per network will be subnet will be reduces, but others also will get a, so when I divide it, so it is so many parts I make it, one part I take it, but other parts will be used by other organizations. Understand?
Yes.
Very okay. So a simple way I'm trying to say, but there is subnetting concept, subnetting division, how to do it. That is separate one chapter is there. So I'm not doing it. So just for understand, two important point wise only. There are several important things are there. I'm telling one, two easy understanding. One is I have a limited systems to connect in the public. So I need only few, like a 10 I need it. So I will get 10 or a plus or 1 or 2. So then what happened? I will ask my ISP, and it will get a. I will request my regional IANA center. So then I want to purchase an IP address for this requirement. I have 10 servers should be connected to the public. I need a pub10 public IP address. What they will do it? So the available public IP addresses, they divide and they give a piece of to me. So the number of hosts per network will be reduces. And because of this division, so there is so many hosts are available for other organizations. Other organizations also use the same. And when you do subnet, already I told subnet, it means one network is divided into multiple small networks. And if once it is a different network means they won't communicate each other. Okay, of course, you may get it out. One organization, other organization, and other organization all use same kind of stuff on. Okay, all use same kind of stuff. The last one will be different. That's why I didn't write the last one. But the first three are the same because it's a class C. Okay, first three are the same. But the last one is will be a little different because when you divide as a network. And they won't communicate each other because I changed the subnet mask of it. Okay. So I didn't remember. 192, 64, 24. Like that we can divide. So cannot divide into 3. We can divide into 4. We can divide one network into 2, or we can divide into 4 networks. We can divide into 6 networks. So we can divide into 8 networks. We can divide into 16 networks, or 32 networks, or 64 networks, or 128 networks, like that. Okay, so depends. Like still it is going on like 1054 like that. Okay. The last point I am trying to show you in this particular one is IP config. What is my IP address? This one. Can you see the subnet mask?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see my default gateway? So here you can see IP address, subnet mask. This is the default gateway, DNS server address kind of stuff. Can you see it's a 94, 194,
Yes,
it's a
sir.
192.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And it's 252.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a completely what we learned from up to here is different, right?
Yes, sir.
We see that one. So is this look like completely different kind of stuff, right? So what we will do, okay, we will investigate all these things are same network or different networks.
Sir, what is this default gateway?
So when you want to communicate outside of the network, so we use a default gateway. So here it is. These are all in the same physical and as well as the same logical network, except this one. Okay, so all are same. But same thing, for example, I have another network outside of my network. So there is a drawing kind of stuff is also there. Select escape. The interface is little change, so I confuse. Okay, this is a good rectangle. Think like this is a network, but outside there is another network, or maybe outside of your network, outside of your logical network, or outside of your physical network, you want to communicate. So what you need is a gateway. Generally, our routers act like a default gateway. So this is one network, and think like this is another network. Okay, you want to communicate from here to outside. So then we are here. I use gigabit Ethernet. Okay, so that packet will. So this is a what is this? My IP address is this one, right? 1.11. But for example, if I'm trying to communicate this 2.11. So it may be not in my network. So what it will do, it try to send a packet to outside of the network. The port is not enabled. So don't worry what I'm doing configuration and all. Okay. By default, we given a default gateways or router IP addresses are usually 1.1 kind of stuff one. In last it is one. Okay. Okay, the port is up now. So when I'm trying to communicate from one PC to another PC, the packet is travel from. So when I want to communicate from here to here, from here to here, okay. So what it will do, the packet sent to the this switch and sent to this one. But when I'm trying to communicate from here to here, the packet never send. It is go to the default gateways. But you have to tell which one is your default gateway. What is my default gateway? The port I can IP address I configure. That is my default gateway. This IP address is a default gateway of all these species. That is more than enough. So if I'm communicating within the LAN, so I don't require a default gateway. From here to here, I don't require default gateway. But I want to communicate from here to outside of my network, I need a default gateway. So the first one I'm open, go to the thing. Trace RT 192.168.1.12. So it is reached directly on that. Okay. So because it's the same network, both are in a same network. If I'm trying to ping something different network, the 2.16 is there now. So what it is showing, yeah, I'm pinging, so it won't reach. So where it is went first? Where it is went? Which IP address it is? Our default gateway. So because of this is in the same network, it directly went. It don't require default gateway, but it is a different network. So it is try to communicate through the default gateway. Of course, after gateway, it is not there. That's we cannot able to communicate. Okay. If it is there, then we can able to communicate. There is a lot of configuration and I have the configurations, but see there is not there. Go to the desktop. So what I'm doing, nothing, just don't do anything, leave it there. Okay. So what is meant by gateway? So when I'm communicating within this network, okay? So it don't require a gateway to go outside. But when I'm communicating google.com, facebook.com, which is not in my network, right? So it has to go to the default gateway. Here also I can show you the trace 30, 190, sorry, it's a 172 series, 172, 16, 194, sorry, 192.15. So I will use 15 one. So it is direct communication. But I'm trying to communicate a different one. So like www.google.com. So first it will go to the gateway, our router. The router is act like a default gateway. Okay. First it will go to the gateway. Then it will try to reach. Understand, guys? What is a gateway? Default gateway means when you are communicating outside of your network, then we need a default gateway. So actually, we forget about this one. So what is 172 in binary? I don't want to make you like a confusion anywhere. So that's why I'm directly given. Otherwise, normal, I will calculate and I will do it. Okay. So I want to make you to easy to the calculation. 16, I know. This is 16. 194. 194 is also easy. 194. This is 194. If I do it, so you think that SSR is doing something. 68. Simple one only. Okay, this is the binary. What is 255? Oh, sorry, mistake. This is not 255, right? These are 255s. But this is not 255. This is 252. You have to convert 252. So what is 252? 11111100. 11111100. And this is a 0, remaining is 0. So can you calculate the network ID? 111101 1101 11110101. Now 01010111 01010101 11110101 0101 1010. Here are zeros. All are zeros only. Anyway, all are zeros. It is 172.16. These values are same as you can see from here. The values are same, but this value is different from here. What is this value? Find out. 1100. What happened? Sorry, I need a binary kind of stuff. 11000000. What is it? 192. So this is a actual network ID. This is actual network ID. Okay. So guys, this is actually class B. By default, class B 65,534 host you will get it in generally. But you change the subnet mask and calculate number of zeros here. How many zeros are there? These are the 8 and these are the 2. Totally 10 are there. So 2 to the power of 10. 2 to the power of 10 means it is 1024 number of hosts. See, from these many hosts to these many hosts, the network is reduced. The network is reduced. Network size is reduced from these many hosts to these many hosts. Why? Because of based on the number of people working in my organization. So it is divided. Actually, I have seen 5 years back. So there is only 500 systems only there. Then it is increased because laptops, mobiles are increased. So what happened? So he increased, our administrator increased that network size. Okay. So per network, number of hosts is only 1022. Okay. So see, this is the same networks. These are all same networks only. Even it is showing 94, it's showing 92, but same network. Why? Because of the subnet mask and network ID is different. If you see 191, it is different network. Got the point, guys? Anything, please reply. Because I have to do some much part like there is a small part is available. Okay, guys, once more, what is a subnetting? It divide a one network into multiple subnets. So what is the purpose? To reduce number of hosts per network and utilize the a network in with different networks form. Again, best utilization of network addresses. Okay, so that is to do that one, we have to change the subnet mask. If you change the subnet mask, the network and host portions will be different. Okay, and obviously there will become different networks. So this is a different network. This is different network by simply changing the subnet mask. Okay, what is the advantages? We can reduce number of hosts per network. So you need to pay for the remaining host, and the number of networks are available. So then other organizations can also utilize. And we cannot do it. It can be do it by IANA, ICANN, and that DAT, okay, service providers kind of stuff. They will do it. Already they have a data. So based on your requirement, they will do it and give it to you. And submitting calculations, I'm not teaching, just I'm giving some example only, and really take time. So like at least one day you have to spend to understand subnetting calculations. Okay. Give some reply, guys. Field and dummy again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell your IP address in different with the subnet mask. Okay. So what is the point here? It is you're telling your IP address. So if someone asks what is your IP address, so I said 192.168.2.23 or or 192.168.1.11. I told my IP address. It means I'm using a default subnet mask. It means I'm using the default subnet mask. Okay, so that type of thing is called a classful. If you are using default subnet mask called a classful network. So in generally, when you are telling about an IP address, you have to tell IP address. Sometimes you have to configure an IP address. You have to give IP address and subnet mask. Understand? You have to give IP address and subnet mask. Okay. So you're giving an IP address based on its classes. By default, subnet mask is understandable. Okay. Is a class B you have taken means you have taken a 255.255.0. Okay. In case if you are using different subnet mask, that's why I showed you this one. Here in this one, the subnet mask is not default. This is the class B network. The subnet mask must be 255.255.0.0, but it is a different subnet mask. In these cases, compulsory you should mention the subnet mask. If you take a different subnet mask, compulsory you have to mention the subnet mask. If you don't tell the subnet mask, it can be a default one. Okay. Next point.
Okay, sir.
If you are using if you are using default subnet mask, that is classful network. If you are using customized subnet mask, it means different subnet mask from the default one. Means something calculated subnet mask is there, that is called a classless network. Classless network. So these two are a classful networks. Classful network it is. And this is classless network because I use different subnet mask. So this is classless network because I use different subnet mask. Okay. So this is point. Classful, classless. Or another point is when you are configuring or when you are writing your IP address. So you have to write IP address. And if you don't mention the default subnet mask means it is a default subnet mask. Or you can mention the default subnet mask also. And when you are configuring an IP address to a device, it can be a PC or laptop, or maybe it is a router, or maybe it is some kind of device it is. Okay, you have to mention both IP address and subnet mask. Sometimes system will take by default the default subnet mask. Okay, if it is changed, compulsory you have to use give that one. To mention the subnet mask two ways. To mention the subnet mask two ways. Either it is default one or maybe customized one. Two ways you can able to mention. One is pretty straight subnet mask way. Another way is with a slash notation. You can mention the IP address and the subnet mask. The subnet mask you can also mention with a slash notation. This slash notation represents subnet mask. How the slash notation, from the slash notation, how can you understand what is your subnet mask? Depends upon the number of ones in the subnet mask. If you take this same example, or maybe this example, I have already written one example, right? So what is an example? How many ones are here? So totally it's a 32 bits. But how many ones are there? This is 8 ones, 8 ones. This is 4 plus 2. 8 plus 8, 16 plus 6. How much it is? 16 plus 6? 22, right? 22. 22. So what I will tell, so what is
Yes.
your network or what is your IP address? I will tell what is my network is. This is my network like this. Simply I'm representing my network. Or someone asks like what is your IP address? My IP address is, I can tell 68 and the subnet mask is 255, 252.0, or I can mention like this /22 also. Both are correct. But this is with the subnet mask I'm telling. This is with a slash notation I'm telling. Okay. This slash notation also some places they call it as a prefix. Prefix like that. So in a certain systems, usually in a Linux based systems, Unix based systems. So you type an IP address for a subnet mask, simply a slash notation. Slash 8 or slash 16 slash 22 slash 20 slash 24. Okay. Slash 30. Like that, you can able to mention it. Okay. So here it is. These are the three default subnet masks. If you write this subnet mask into the binary, calculate how many number of ones are there. 8/8. This is slash 16 because of number of ones are 16. Slash 24 means 24 ones are there. But this one having only 20 ones. Like this. This is different subnet mask. It is 240. So 255, 255, 240. Okay. So how many ones are there? 16 plus 4, 20. Okay. So here it is. There is an IP address, subnet mask. Sorry, not IP address. It is a subnet mask is like this. So it contains 26 ones. So this is 255, 255, 255. Totally 24 ones are there. Plus 2, 26. Because 192 means this one. Okay. So like this is an example I given 170.16.1.23/16. It means so 255.255.0.0. Slash 22 means this is an IP address. This is the subnet mask. Okay. So slash 22 means 22 ones are there. Okay. So this is a slash notation, guys. What is this slash notation or a prefix or CIDR method? It is a kind of representing your subnet mask. Usually, when we use a classless subnet mask, then definitely we have to mention the subnet mask. Classless networks we use the subnet mask. Either we can write a subnet mask completely, or maybe you can use slash notation. Even though you are using default subnet mask, you can tell your subnet mask directly or maybe with a slash notation. If you are using class A, /8, class B, /16, class C, /24 wise also you can be able to tell. Understand, guys, up to here? I want to stop here, but this networking topic is keep on growing one by one again. And there is one more very important topic is that is the OSI layer is there. That's why I want to finish off it, guys. Compulsory read it. If you don't get the point from the reading, then you can watch a video, and there is several material, not only my direct classroom videos. Also, there is several information is there. You can go for what is a private IP, what is public IP address, what is subnet, what is switch, what is router. So when you got a time, guys, why it is not required to me to explain with like a diagrammatically, not like that. But why I'm trying today, what it is, if you study, if you practice, or maybe you are be in that one, whatever the selection, whatever the interview, whatever it is, guys, when you got a chance to learn. That is the first important. Remaining are next. So you have a knowledge, maybe today or maybe tomorrow or maybe the next year. Okay. So when you are having a chance, you'll definitely, there is a good thing. Okay. So always useful.
Yes, sir.
If you want to go to the cloud without knowing of a basic networking concepts, you cannot do anything in the cloud. Application level, okay. But infrastructure in the cloud, you cannot do anything because of you want to make a communication between the your servers. So you should understand private IP, logical IP addresses, public IP addresses, kind of stuff. Yeah, someone is asking question. something. Tell me. I'm interrupted. Okay. The last part I will going to tell, guys. This is the one. Listen very carefully, step by step. And if you don't get it also, you can ask me again and again, no problem. Yes, this is in my, already I told, I have a devices in my network. Okay, I have a devices in my office, organization, or maybe in my home. Okay, and they are connected either wirelessly or wirelessly, they are connected. And this is, for example, a server, it is there. For example, I design a web server, and I have a systems A and B. Okay, if I am communicating I want to communicate from A to this web server or B to this web server. Do I need any internet connection? Do I need any router, modem kind of stuff from here to here? Guys,
No, sir.
not required. So why? Because of both are in the same LAN communication. Both are in a private network only. Okay. But someone in the outside of my network, okay, someone is in the internet, want to communicate to my server. So of course, then I need some public communication. Okay. This one is called a intranet, means I'm communicating in my private only. But when I want to communicate outside of my network, so definitely I need a router with a default gateway address, like I have to go outside of this route and I have to connect to ISP. Then I need a modem. And finally, I will connect it to the internet. But the problem is this server want to access it by someone in the public. So this is required a public IP address. This is required public IP address. To communicate within the private, we don't require public IP. Just we need some private IP addresses. But when you want to communicate outside of your network, up to here it is not required. But from here to here, you want to communicate or you want to get communicated, we need a public IP address. Without a public IP address, you cannot communicate in the internet. Okay. So the point is public IP, that story, second part of the lines I will tell, but I told one thing that is called a private. Within the private, so we don't need required anything to buy an IP address. We don't require to buy any IP address, but these IP addresses, we can use it without any payment. Those called a private IP addresses. And the IP addresses cannot be routable in public. We cannot access internet with the private IP. Directly we can't access. Of course, indirectly we can access. That is a different point. Okay, we can't access. What is these private IP addresses? From class A, there is only one single series is there, that is called the 10 series. Okay, so the 10 series is your private IP 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255 single network. This is only one single network you are getting from the class A. Okay, in a class B, 170.16.0.0 to 170.31.255.255. It means 170.16 is a private network, 170.17 is a private network, 170.18, 170.19, like that up to 170.31. These are all private networks only. So if you make a difference, so you are getting from the class B, so 16, 17, 18 up to 31, you have to calculate almost all 15, almost all 15, 15, 16, totally 16 with including 16, right? So it is around 16 networks you are getting. Sorry, 16 or 15 only, 15, sorry, 15 only. 15 private IP addresses you are getting from the class B. Which one is starting? 172.16 network, 172.17, 172.18, 172.19, like that 172.31. These are all private network. If you use 32, again public, you have required license for that one. 172.15, again you require a public license. But 16, 17, 18, 19 up to 31, these are all private IP addresses only. Okay. Again, class C, from the class C is a 170.168.0.0, 190.168.0.0, 190.168.255.255. It means 192.168.0 series, 190.168.1, 190.168.2, 190.168.3, and up to 255. All these things are private IP addresses. It means almost all 256. Okay, not almost all, 256 private IP addresses from class C. And who designed this one? I can only design this one. These IP addresses can be used any of the private networks within your local LAN network without purchasing or without taking any license. Any organizations or any user can use within their private network. But these IP addresses non-routable in public means with this IP address directly you cannot able to communicate. What is my IP address? 172.16. And this network is valid only within my private network. Okay. If you want to access me, you know my IP address. If you want to access my system, you can't access because that is private IP. That is valid only in my network. Someone in their network, they can have the 170.16. In another people also having 170.16. In your home also you can create your own 170.16. But that is in their private only. So it is not accessed by public. Directly cannot be accessed by public. Guys understand private IP address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
very good. And anybody got a small doubt? Because you guys are asking the doubts that is actually good doubts. Your batch is having good capabilities, guys. You are having knowledge and you are asking correct doubts, but you are not asking. Freezing so many times. Okay. I don't get an angry if you are asking questions. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt, but
Yeah,
it's
tell me.
off the topic. Sir,
No problem.
can you just let us know what all questions will be asked to us in our technical interview? Like the
Okay,
set
okay.
of questions.
I will check once my world forwarded questions are there, or maybe recent batches got in questions. I will forward the questions. Okay.
Okay, sir. So
Definitely.
the interview will be like theoretical, or like we have to do practically perform
Not
or
required
show something.
practically perform, but if in case if there is a question like how you check your IP address, or maybe you have to tell in orally. You don't need to
Okay.
do in a system. Okay.
So
How you
like
check you are getting internet or not. or maybe if you got this kind of issue, how you resolve possibilities. Yeah.
So like if we get the set of questions, so we'll get an idea like
I will
about the
forward one. I have one file. Definitely, I have a file. Okay, last batch I shared it. So I will share that file, and also I will share the questions asked to the students in a recent batches. Also, I will share it. Okay.
all right, sir.
Sir, in how many weeks this our technical part will be covered?
We have a time now, so maybe by next week we can complete. Okay.
After that, we are having a mock test. Or something.
Mock test I cannot promise and technically. If possible, we can do in within this. So I'm asking questions, right? So meantime only we can go for a small revision or a small questions kind of stuff. Okay.
Sir, I wanted to ask about the private and public network. In the like private IP, we cannot access the internet. It is only for our systems. But when we need to access the internet, so when everybody needs to access the internet, is the public IP networks the same for all of them?
I'm just waiting for that question only. Okay, good. Okay. So as I said, within the private, you can use the private IP address without taking any license or purchasing anything. Okay. So maybe you have a servers or a regular systems, you have it and you are connected and you can communicate in the private with your private IP address. But the thing is, I have a private IP address, but I am able to access internet. But I said with the private IP address, you cannot able to access it. That's the point I told her. Right?
Yes, sir.
So then, okay. And another thing is, if you have a server and it is a web server or maybe a database server, whatsoever it is, or your system is there, okay? So or maybe your application server. So you want to make that one to access publicly and you have to assign public IP address. But how can you assign? It's already in private. Okay. So with the private IP, you cannot we cannot that server cannot be accessed by public. If you want to communicate outside or you want to get communicated from outside, you need a public IP. But if you see there is a private IP addresses. So what happened here it is, guys, there is a concept called NAT. There is a concept called NAT. What is a NAT? Network Address Translation. Network Address Translation. So generally it is configured either inside your routers or maybe ISP will take care of that one. There is two ways are there. Either there's a multiple NAT translations are there, NAT and PAT translations are there. In organization level, in their routers, what they will do it, they will configure NAT. Okay. So what they will do it. So this is a private IP. For example, I'm taking simple manner that is a 10 series. This is a 10.0.0.10.0.1.10, for example. This is my private IP. So in this router, what I have do, I will map this private IP, which is inside to the public IP, which is I purchased it. So I will purchase as how many IP addresses are required. So I will purchase that IP addresses. So I will make this one as also 1.10. Okay, for matching. So, and for example, this is also some server which is required to access publicly. So inside these machines are having private IP, but at a router, I will configure this, the devices private IP mapped to the public IP, which is I have purchased from the ICANN kind of stuff. So what happened? When I'm communicating to the outside of the network, so first I will go to this router, and this is my private mapped to the public, and I am going with this IP address. Inside, that is 10.0.1.11. But when I'm communicating outside of the network, I use my public IP address. Understand, guys?
Yes.
And another point is, what if someone want to access my server? They want to access my server, right? So I'm in the internet. So this is entirely internet, and we are connected to internet. And from internet, with which IP address he is going to give a request? 200.10.1.10. With this IP address only is going to give a request. And in the internet, it will search, finally find where is this IP address? Here it is. It give the, okay, finally it is reaches to this. And again it is, so our router understand which server it is, this one, and it is given to this web server. And it will take the request and give the reply to here with this IP. Again, it is translated to this public IP and give a reply with this one only. Okay. Understand, guys? That is a NAT concept. Network Address Translation. We use NAT and PAT technique to access the public networks. NAT, Network Address Translation. PAT, Port Address Translation, also called as NAT overload. NAT maps inside private IP address to outside private IP. I think I have a good picture explanation is there. I lost that one. If I find it, I will add that one also. Okay. That is a good picture explanation is also there. NAT maps inside private IP address to outside public IP address. Devices communicate in private with a private IP. When they communicated to public, means outside, so they use public IP address. Okay. So guys, where is this diagram? How many private IPs required to communicate public? I have presently 2 are there. So I need a 2 private should be communicate public. Means I need a 2 public IP addresses only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Think like this. In your home, how many laptops, mobile phones are there? All are in a private, but we are all required to access internet. In my organization, there is hundreds of computers can be there. Okay. In an internet center, there is 20-30 systems. You go to the colleges, there is hundreds of computers. Organization, 300, 400, 1,000, 2,000 computers are there. So how many public IP address you want to buy per one private? This is one private, one public is required. But if you have a 100 computers, need to access internet, you are not required to be accessed. You no need to be get accessed, but you have to access, right? Google is not required to send to you. You have to access the google.com. You have to access. Okay. So you have a 50 computers are there, 10 computers are there, 200 computers are there. But there is a problem that you cannot buy those many public IP addresses. If you buy, your per home internet cost will be in the lakhs. Okay. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So there is a technique called port address translation technique. Port address translation technique. And we are all using this one without knowing that knowledge at all. But our home and organizations all are using this port address translation. What is a port address translation? It is a NAT only, but NAT overload technique. So here it is. For example, I have an IP address. Why I use 10? Because it is easy to type. Okay, I use 10 series because of easy to type. I have a different systems, like one system is 10.0.0.12, 10.0.0.13, 10.0.0.14. Okay, so for example, this, okay, and I will buy means I no need to buy. My ISP will manage that public IP address because I am giving a subscription. So my public IP address will be 130, sir. 2 minutes, sir. 5 minutes, sir. Just 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, so it's lunch time. So sorry. Okay, so this is my public IP, and I use this public IP for every this. For every one, I use this public IP. For every private system, I use the one single public IP. But how to differentiate? I assign some port numbers. When they do requesting, so I will, in the system, it will do this kind of port mapping. I'm giving some random port numbers. Okay, in a actually it's different way. I lost that. Actually, it is in my very old hard disk. I have these configurations in packet tracer. Okay, so can you see the port mapping is match. IP address, public IP address is same for every system. When they are communicating outside of network, so they use this public IP address to communicate. But how it will recognize when there is a reply. Okay, so you are open a google.com and request is going. This is, for example, this is 10.11. Request go to the router and 10.11 and take this public IP and send. Okay, and the google.com reaches your request with this public IP and reply to this one. But same public IP is for all the devices. So who has to be get? So it will check port mapping. When it is sending a request with this IP address and take the IP address and assign some port and okay, and translate into the with the public IP with the port and send the request. And the other side, it take the request and give the reply with this public IP, and then it will understand, yes, with this IP and port, this is the system, and it will give the back. Guys, we are all in the private network. We are a 10 system, 20 system, all are in the private network, but we are still getting internet. We can able to access the internet things like facebook.com, google.com, youtube.com, all are using PAT, port address translations. When you do communicate in the public, so what we are using is port. But in organizations, the specific servers or specific devices should access it from the public network. That is NAT translations only, because this is a confusion technique. Because if I know your public IP, I cannot reach your device in the PAT, because same public IP is used by so many people inside your ISP. Inside your IP, not only inside your home, inside your ISP itself. Okay, lot of translations will happen. I cannot directly attack with your private IP anyway, and with your public IP also, I cannot attack. Why? Because that public IP is given to so many people. Okay, but how it will be recognized? Port address translation, multiple private IP addresses to one public IP, one or two public IP address. Guys, understand PAT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So NAT and PAT. And when you try, so first check your private IP address. Go to command prompt, type ipconfig, then note down your IP address and go to google.com. Go to google.com like this. Go to the browser and type what is my IP like this. Type like this, it display different IP address. It displays different IP address. Why? Because Google don't understand. Google is understand your public IP, not your private IP. And that public IP address, if you check in another mobile phone, or with the same network you are connected, same Wi-Fi you are connected, check in a multiple devices, you may see in same public IP for all the devices. You may see, means sometimes it will little different. Okay. So that's the fact. So we are already in a secure network. No one will hack you directly with your MAC address or a private IP address or with a public IP address also, because in a PAT network. Okay. Only one thing is, don't you open any unwanted, unusual, okay, dangerous websites, or don't download certain kind of applications or games, mainly from the torrents and third-party websites. Other than that one, no one will hack you. Okay. So that's the point, guys, for today. So I'm going to stop the recording and I have to go for lunch and I have a class in 2:30.